Are fears for the fate of the Gaza Strip, with Israel now able to direct its military effort on the Palestinian territory? The health ministry in the Hamas-run Gaza said this Wednesday that at least 44,282 people now have been killed in more than 30 months of war between Israel and the Palestinian militants of Hamas. This toll includes 33 deaths over the past 24 hours, according to the ministry, which said over 104,000 people have been wounded in Gaza since the war began, when Hamas militants attacked Israel on October the 7th, 2023. Let's get some more analysis of the situation and speculate a bit more on what might happen next. Elijah Magnier joins us, veteran war correspondent and senior political risk analyst. Thank you so much for being with us. Over 44,000 dead in Gaza. How do you see the story developing there in the wake of the deal in Lebanon?
Thank you for having me. I don't think anything is going to happen in Gaza that is positive for the Palestinians before the new administration is in office. I don't think Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is going to make any concessions to the Palestinians, because there is a kind of revenge against Gaza, which is completely different from the situation in Lebanon. This is why we have seen the Israeli army completely isolating part of the north, trying to occupy it and trying to empty the first part, half of the north at the level of Jabalia camp and Jabalia city, and trying to evacuate as many civilians as possible. Therefore, the Israelis have created many corridors inside Gaza, one in Jabalia, one in the Netzarim that is dividing the north from the south, one in Fitzurin that is close to Khan Yunis, and the fourth one in the Philadelphia corridor on the borders with Egypt. So Gaza really is devastated, destroyed. Many people have been completely displaced. And now the only objective of the far right-wing government is to annex this part of the north and give it to new settlers, as it was the case before 2005.
Indeed, the people you're speaking about, Elijah, of course, are still under bombardment as they're moving from place to place. Their situation is more and more desperate. Netanyahu very keen to trumpet military achievements in Lebanon, but is the truth really that he is a man who is really under pressure? Because there's the issue about how things have been done in Gaza, and of course the overall issue about the hostages who were still not back in Israel.
Well, this is so far, Benjamin Netanyahu has failed in achieving his objective, militarily speaking. So in the military terms, it is not by killing as many civilians as your figures, 43,300, which are very accurate, and then to destroy Gaza. That is not an achievement, because all the captives are still in captivity, and he did not manage militarily to liberate them. And we see little interest for the government of Benjamin Netanyahu. Well, actually, people like the finance minister, Bezalel Smotrich, and Ben Gvir, that the security minister, said this is not the priority. The priority is the interest of Israel, and the hostages are not the priority. Therefore, the shift of Benjamin Netanyahu's objective from defeating Hamas, which didn't happen, because particularly in the month of November, the highest number of Israeli soldiers and officers were killed in Jabalia and Ashate in the north of Gaza. And the battle is still ongoing because Hamas did not raise the white flag and Israel did not free the prisoners. And in Lebanon is exactly the same. Benjamin Netanyahu did not manage to push Hezbollah by the military means beyond the Litani River.
24 hours ago, Netanyahu, hailing this ceasefire, spoke of giving or using it as an opportunity to give Israeli troops rest time in the course of the cessation of hostilities. But is the truth really that this will give Israel the chance to concentrate its forces on the Gaza Strip?
I don't think so, because first of all, there is no trust, as your correspondent rightly said. Therefore, the 5 divisions that are still deployed along the borders with Lebanon, we're talking about 210, 91, 98, 36, and 146, they will remain there because they are not really secured in leaving the borders and thinking that perhaps the cessation of hostility is fragile, because the terminology is indeed fragile per se. And also there are already divisions in Gaza operating in the West Bank. There are reserve division. Israel has 9 divisions all in all, and it has allocated 5 to Lebanon. So they really don't need to move the troop to do something more than what they are doing in Gaza. They have allocated 200 jets for Lebanon, 100 for Gaza, and they have 600 in total. I don't think the two fronts are going to affect one another, but what is main here is that Israel did not achieve the objective in Lebanon, and now we have a ceasefire or cessation of hostility that is in place. It's going to take few days. There are going to be few violations until the committee of France, the US, and Israel, Lebanon, and UNIFIL is united, so they start working on all the violation of the cessation of hostility or a ceasefire, and try to sort out the problem that are impossible to sort out all in all.
Elijah, can I broaden this out a little bit more, if you don't mind? Netanyahu spoke about dealing with the Iranian threat, the Iran threat. What do you think he meant by that? Is that something that he alone can address, or is this really something part of a bigger picture that involves the United States?
Without the United States, Germany, and the UK, Israel would have never did what it has done in Gaza and in Lebanon. The support that is offered by the allies is essential. The Israeli army, although they have 450,000 troops and all the effective, that is one of the most formidable in the Middle East and one of the best in the world, they did not show the same level of capability and professionalism. Therefore, talking about Iran, when 364 square kilometers in Gaza were not possible to occupy and defeat Hamas, and 500 square kilometers that is from the borders to the south of the Litani River in Lebanon, and the Israeli army failed with 5 divisions, we're talking about 60 to 80,000 troops, to occupy that area after 50 days, when they managed to do that in 2006 in 33 days. Going to Iran is just tackling the feeling that is emanating from Donald Trump, who said his next direction is going to be to talk to Iran. But also, this is the language that Netanyahu is addressing domestically to make sure that people are still afraid, that he still has a job to do before November 2026, and it is not time yet for him to be removed or an early election in Israel.
Elijah Magnier, veteran war correspondent, senior political risk analyst, joining us from Brussels. Thank you, sir, very much indeed for your analysis. Much appreciated.
Thank you.